So for the sea slug, we do have to head over to Ardoin, completely up to you as to how you want to pronounce that. To do so, the easiest way is of course to go to Edgeful, head through, pull the lever, end up on the other side. First time entering the wilderness, I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine here. And no issues whatsoever. Dead content, anyone? Let's keep going through. We are now in Ardoin. Now of course that can't go back the other way, but it's a very nice way to start things off. And with that, we should have Sea Slug completed, which took us from level 7 fishing all the way to level 25. Absolutely beautiful start there. Now we can start AFKing, fishing some trout and salmon there eventually once we find other things to do. But on to the next thing. With literally 0 GP in my bank, yes that's right, I'm completely broke. I've decided that I really need to earn a little bit of quick cash here. Now, there are many different ways you can earn cash. Of course, there are steel plate bodies in the wilderness. The option that I've decided to go for, as we are currently in Ardoin, is of course the silk stores. We steal from silk stores at level 20 thieving. We could of course just go straight to the cake stores and steal a bunch of those to go for that, but I think instead we're actually going to go for Haziel's Colt, which we should find just around here. So we'll start this one. Requires basically no items. We just head across here. That gives us 1500 thieving experience right at the start. I'll see you at the end of this quest, and then I think we'll steal from cake stalls. Then we'll get a whole bunch of silks. And then of course, once that timer has gone down, we will look to maybe sell it and do some quests in amongst it there. But I'll be back in just a second. And there we have the completion of Haziel Colt. 1 quest point, 2000 gold. I didn't even factor that in. That's a huge upgrade there as well. We've got some early cash. And of course, the primary reason why we did this 1500 thieving experience, bringing us from level 5 up to level 13. Very, very nice. That's a nice wee boost. Honestly, probably well worth it there for the short amount of time it did. And of course, given that we have our dark robe, dark wizard aesthetics here, we had decided with the cultist, which of course look very kin now to us. Now I've got our Haziel's mark, which is completely useless other than some new fashion scape. Little mark of Zamrock type there, unholy symbol. Very, very nice. But why don't we now head back up across here? We can of course do some other quests here if we want to, like our monks party. We can do that a little bit later while we're in the area. Lots of early RD quests that we can get done, that's for sure. But we're going to go thieve some silks and then sell them a little bit later, and of course use the optimal dialogue choices to sell them for as much as possible. I should take this opportunity to let you know that I'll try and add these little XP counters in the top left hand corner here to our screen whenever we're doing a little bit of a grind like this, as we just reached level 18 thieving. We've taken about a fifth of an hour there, so what's that? Just over 12 minutes there so far by the looks of it there. Quick maths, there you go. And with our next thieving here, we should have picked up our level 20 thieving, which is great. We now have silk stores. We can also do ham follows, which we can try a little bit later for clue scrolls and other goodies. But of course, first things first, silk stores are the go-to. I've also decided, we've been lugging this antique lamp around in our back pocket for quite some time. It's just been taking up space. It's getting a little bit annoying. Rather than saving that for our druidic ritual, why don't we instead just throw that on Hunter, which we know is a very, very painful early game skill. Chuck it on there. 300 experience there should get us a level, and it does indeed. Okay, so from level 9 from our museum up to level 10. Current stats shown on screen, 182 total level here. And we're going to move across to silk scores. We have about 100 and so, or 110 cakes thieved, which is quite a nice little outcome for us as well there. And of course, we'll save some food for if we do get caught, but of course, we're now moving on to our silk stalls just up there. I feel like we're at the stage where all of these random events will be helpful early on. Why not? Why not? These ones might not be too important there because I believe we mostly just get costume rather than actual useful goodies, rewards, I don't know, mithril arrows, chaos runes, all that good stuff that you can get from the maze, for example. But why not? We'll just do them all anyway. For those of you who haven't done it in a wee while, it is a little bit nostalgic as well, especially if you're coming back to RuneScape for the first time in a very long time, or Old School Runescape I should say. There we go, that is indeed correct. What is our reward? It's kind of fucked up there, Leo, that you put them in the wrong grave. That's pretty horrific treatment of these deceased. You think you'd take a little bit better care of them, it is your job and everything. And we do get the zombie boots, the zombie shirt. I guess we do get closer to our collection log completions there, of course. So it's not the worst thing in the world to start getting some of those as well. Plus some awesome little costume outfits that we can maybe switch into later on. But let's continue with our silk grind here. And there we have 76 silk in the bank, ready to be sold a little bit later. But I also noticed that the age of my cat suggests that in 31 minutes it's going to be growing up to a cat. Now of course we want to trade our cat in for the death runes and start stacking those up a little bit later for when we eventually do get to Barrows, when we have our Ivan stuff, all that good stuff. But to do so we have to access West Ardone. Now to access that we have to finish, or at least partially complete, but I might as well finish it, Plague City. So that's going to be our next quest here. We're already right where we need to be, so it should be easy as can be. So let's start and finish that one. I'll see you in a little bit. There is Plague City completed alongside a little bit of mining experience and an Ardone teleport scroll for when we finally do get the magic level. Alina's now back home, very nice. But even better there is of course our kitten there, which is probably not far off getting older at all. 1 minute, there you go. So within the next minute there, so maybe if we walk back into Western Ardone, we might be able to trade it across in perfect time. And literally as we enter into our civilian areas here, our kitten becomes a cat. I know it's for the sake of immersion there, but I really love the idea of some of these civilians saying, no, we won't take that cat. It's 1 minute too young there. Maybe come back in a minute once it's now a little bit older, and then we're good as gold. There we go. Only 100 death runes. That's right. We need the Ring of Karen or Karis, whatever it is. We'll get that later on, then we get 200 death runes. But as a starting point, very nice to have those death runes. Why don't we head back and sell our silk, get a little bit of extra gold, see how much we earn, and then we'll decide what to do from there. So we're starting with 1450 gold when we start selling our silk. So we've only got about 70 to sell. Let's see what we end up with. With this being our last inventory of silk, we should have made just shy of 6,000 in total. Cash stack looking a bit healthier now. We'll absolutely be coming back to do a little bit more of this when we get low on funds again. Let's move swiftly onwards. We've decided to maybe do our sheep herder quest there. Nice easy one it is in the location here. And here we have sheep herder being completed. I was really hopeful that I would be able to tell you all about how I completed it absolutely flawlessly. No issues whatsoever, but 2 of the sheep were absolute arseholes. Ran a good 10-20 squares back there and I had to get them back in line there. But that's another 4 quest points done and another cheeky 3,000 gold there. That saves me some time from having to pick up some silk here. Now let's just keep going with things, see how we go. And here is of course our awesome party scene with Brother Omad as we've finished the Monk's Friend quest. Just a very quick fetch quest there, honestly. Give a few items there. We do get 8 law runes out of this though, so not useful right now with our 14 magic, but eventually it will be very nice. Well, we are partying for a very long time. And 2,000 woodcutting experience, which, I mean, it helps. We already had quite a few woodcutting levels there, but it's not the end of the world. And 200 total levels, so we are making our way up here as we head out to finish off the Tree Gnome Village quest. While heading over to the Tree Gnome Village, I was reminded as I passed by Lady Serval and a quest icon on the minimap there, that there is the fighter in a quest nearby. So I took a quick detour. Honestly, it was not really a detour, it was on the way. This quest is super short, super easy, as long as you don't get one shot. We do have a few enemies there that we have to face up against, a Bouncer, Khazard Scorpion, and General Khazard. But we can safe spot all of them as long as we use the skeletons here that we see around the place. There's level 12 hit points. That's going to help us avoid being one shot. We do have some food handy. Should be some very nice experience at the end of this quest as well. And here we have the completion of the Fight Arena quest for 12,000 attack experience, taking us from, what was it, 1 all the way up to level 29. And I believe a couple levels in thieving as well, plus a little bit of coinage as well. Can't really complain about that there. Very nice detour, happy to have remembered that along the way. Let's now go and complete Tree Gnome Village. You've got to love the safe sort of mechanics that you can find in RuneScape here, especially with your range and magic there, although there are some with melee as well, so I shouldn't speak too soon there. Of course, fighting our level 112 Khazard Warlord as a level 14, what do you want to call this, like a dark wizard there, just a mage. It's working pretty nicely there for us. We'll have our second orb, and we're not too far off finishing off the Tree Gnome Village for some absolutely huge experiences. We just reached level 19 mage there. Actually, these past few quests there have given us quite a boost in the mage levels as well there, from about 13 up to 19. Very nice, which actually gives us access to our first Windbolt spell as well. But we're not going to be using any Chaos Runes until we need to for some quests, and even then we'll probably save it for our Firebolt later on. But give me just another 10 minutes and then I'll finally have this Warlord down. And with this, we return the Orbs of Protection back to the gnomes here, power our spirit tree, and get some absolutely huge experience once again there. Sutana indeed, Intania Sutana. Don't know what that means, but it's provocative, it gets the people going. There we go. Happy, happy days. And the gnomish people are happy. We get another 12,000 attack experience there, taking us from 29 up to 35. We almost have our rune axe, of course. Gnome amulet. Can't remember what that does. It gives us some actual decent defensive bonuses there, I guess. So now that's our best amulet in game. You know, screw my friendship with Hazel's mark. Now Gnome amulet's my best friend. And 35 attack, of course. Good stuff. Now what's next? Not too sure. You'll find out in the next clip though. Well, in the neighborhood decided to do another quest that requires really nothing at all. That is of course Clock Tower. So with that we've replaced all of the cogs in the Clock Tower, got a quest point, got 500 coins, not too shabby. Now that we've got some money, it's finally time to purchase our house. Let's see if the estate agent is ready to give it to us. 1,000 gold, that is a solid investment. We do have a quest there, just below us where we currently are. It is Tower of Life, which requires I think 10 construction, so we'll have to work on that eventually, but we'll do that a little bit later, maybe build some crude chairs, see how we go. But right now we're going to be doing our biohazard quest, which will take us a bit across RuneScape. We do have a few other things to do along the way as well, so very nice, something else to work towards. After spending half of our cash stack on a few more runes across in our rune shop, I think it's Betty's magic shop, we're going to of course head to Fortunato on our way through here, pick up 5 more jugs of wine, and we're actually going to trade with Diango here and look to pick up a few more Chronicle charges, which we're probably going to be using more of in the coming little few minutes here, especially as we teleport back to Varrock there and finish off our quest, as we can see here. But we're also going to be spending this time starting the Portion of Interest quest, which I actually can't recall if I've ever completed beforehand, so that'll be a new one for me. So it turns out I maybe should have brought a bit more food than I did. We're cutting it very, very close. 9 HP, I believe they can hit a max of a 6. We're going to risk it here. No food left. Surely. We've used our rock skin prayer. 6. Oh god, we've got 7 HP. There we go. Killed him with 5 HP to go and no food. Next time I know, bring a bit more food. There's really no reason not to. But there we go. We finished off. Cut off the sour hog foot. That's a bit ruthless. Let's head back and claim our quest reward. Alright, well we got a nice little random event with the Freaky Forester here just before we finish off our quest here. Look at that, Lederhosen top, can't really complain. Now we'll go straight into the quest completion as well. And the Sour Hogs there, we get 30 Slayer points, we get 1,000 Slayer XP, 1 quest point, and a very nice little quest completion. Let's continue on with Biohazard. While in Varrock, I decided to progress the Vampire Slayer quest a little bit further, so we've picked up our steak from Dr. Harlow. I also realised that we haven't had a cat for a wee while, and of course while we're here, we should absolutely talk to Gertrude, pick up a kitten there as well. Got a little guy here, we will interact, give him a cheeky little strokey to start with. We've got some food to keep him fed. Let's move over and finish off the vampire in the Draenor Manor. Venice? Why do I keep saying Draenor Manor? It's Draenor Manor. There we go. I don't know why, it just feels like those words kind of follow into one another. I believe in my previous episode I did the exact same. You know, I'm going to be mispronouncing things. I'm sure that you guys have your own pronunciations for Ardoin. I go for Ardone, I think. Like Ardo, like dough as in, you know, yeasty goodness. But beyond that, we're going to be finishing off Vampire Slayer. Then we're going to continue on with Biohazard. We've done everything we need to do in Varrock. We've found out the plague is indeed a hoax. And we are going to be informing everyone that we can about it there and spread the truth about what's really going on. Alright, well this is embarrassing. This is my first proper combat death. Now the good news is that we did manage to pick everything up and we've got absolutely everything. We can continue on with our fight. The vampire is weakened. We should be absolutely fine here. Let's just keep an eye on things to make sure we don't get destroyed once again. The bad news is the kitten that we picked up mere moments ago has been sent back to Gertrude. It's living its best life there elsewhere. It's now turned into a bit of a stray. And there we go. He did manage to get 250 total level. We did get a magic level increase. and we get 4,800 attack experience. Is that enough there to get us few attack levels there? It is indeed up to 37. Look, I think that's a fair balance there. 37 attack, 1 strength, 1 defense. That's how you're supposed to build RuneScape characters, isn't it? Alright, another kitten. Hopefully we don't lose you. We're going to name you Bartholomew. Now, one thing that I've really downplayed or have not really utilized at all yet is of course our minigame teleports, which is of course in a very different tab to what I'm used to. It used to be in, where was it, in our questing tab. It's now over here in our grouping tab. We can teleport right to the fishing trawler, which is just south of Ardone. So that's going to be the quickest way to get back there, I believe. We could of course go up to Edgeville, teleport through there, but I don't feel like I'm going to be using another one of these teleports for a little while. So we'll just head up to here. And here we go, we just head a little bit further north and we're back to Elena for the Biohazard quest up there. And finally we get to confront King Lathis about the hoax that is the plague. We had many detours along the way, a whole bunch of quests, a few deaths, or at least 1 death. But here we go, finishing this off, getting some nice thieving experience, which might be a level? I'm not really too sure. It's about time that we do a few more quests that are beneficial for the late game. On the way to Waterfall quest, which as we all know is a huge boon for your early starting Ironman, and even just your regular pures, absolutely everything there depending on what you're going for there of course. But we've decided to stop off over here at a little dwarf multi-cannon area here. I don't even know what to call this place here, and we will help out Captain Lorgoth and finish off his little quest here. Nice and easy and a good starter before we make a start on our major quest. We are now at the part of the Dwarf Cannon quest where we have to speak to Melodian just south of Edgeville by the Ice Mountain. So we're going to leave that quest there until we next head out that direction, and we'll continue on with, or actually start with our quest over here, of course, our lovely Waterfall quest. What a picture perfect area that we're in here right now, eh? Let's see how this goes. Always a bit risky running into these high level enemy areas while you have basically no HP to your name. But thankfully there I think we should be able to make it through. We've got plenty of food to our name at least, so we've got that going for us. And yeah, we've got the cake that we can munch on as we go through and talk to our friend through here. And again we head down into Gleriel's tombstone. With the ladder climb down, and now we must run the gauntlet. Now I have heard that if you do get some of these zombies to attack you first, then run past this Moss Guardian, you're less likely to get absolutely destroyed. So we don't care too much about that guy. In fact, why don't we try and get a couple of these, if we can do so without absolutely getting hammered in the process. Just in case we ever need a whole bunch of them. That's not too bad there, we're pretty happy with that. We'll get a little bit more food, we head across to this end here. I think we pick up the urn now, don't we? And this is another chance for us to be killed here. I don't know the Moss Guardian's max HP, or max hit. Hopefully we're past the point of getting 1 shot. Now again, we'll try and get hit by a skeleton first if we can. Nope! Alright, well, you know, that's certainly something, isn't it? So we do know that they can one-shot us on 13 HP. So we're going to have to teleport back there, try and run that gauntlet again and see how we go. Thankfully we do keep our Gleria's people, so we are not having to do it all over again from scratch. But let's go back one more time. Next clip you'll see me back there, attempt number 2. On the bright side, Rick Turpentine just gave us a cosmic talisman that could be useful for one of our later quests, I do believe. So I'm very happy to have that there with us. Alright, so after teleporting to a fishing trawler and walking all the way back, we have 100 run energy here to get this through this time around. Now we have to search the chest in the west room. No we don't, we can just go pick up our amulet down here. Now what we want to do is basically exactly that. Let our zombie come and get us. Let's see, can we attack the skeleton, make him aggressive? And there we go, now we start picking up. Oh my god, we actually do have to go back because all of the amulets there that we had beforehand now no longer there for us to take. Now let's make sure that we get all of our food. There we go, we've been hit. Now we run past, we go way to this side so we are safe against you. And we have our urn, there we go. Okay, come on, please hit us back. Whoa, there we go, we got hit, now we run. Hit and run, hit and run. Hang on, please don't tell me. Oh my god, all the other Glariel's amulets were in my tombstone right here. Let's pick up a few more. What did we even have left? Oh, we've got our food for our cat. Oh no! We lost our cat! Oh, RIP Schnuffles. We'll get another one though. There we go. We'll finish off the quest. We'll pick up another cat when we're near that area there. But too many deaths, too many cats lost already here. I'm not trying to make it a death in episode, but that seems like what we're trending towards here so far. Unfortunate. RIP. Alright, and this time we head into our waterfall. Again, there are some risky places to run by here, as we do have our level 16 skeletal mages. Massive spiders across here as well. If we just keep our run on, we should be okay, however. We pick up a little something from here, our key, which allows us to head into the western chamber. Make sure that we keep eating, excessively here. Stuff our faces full of cake, and now the fire giants are another concern for us. Let's actually see if we can get you to hit us. Don't really need to attack back though, do we? How far can you go? That far? Okay. That should be enough to maybe carry us all the way, and we managed to avoid taking any damage there. Beautiful. See you at the end of the quest. And with using this urn on Glariel's chalice, we should have poured the remains of the ashes, and there we go. 13,750 strength and attack experience, plus some diamonds and gold bars, and some mithril seeds as well, all for which we can sell. Very happy with that, and we went from 37 attack up to a very respectable 41 attack, so we can already equip our rune items, plus 30 strength there. What a lovely day. And here we have Snuffles, or why don't we call you Snowball rather than Snuffles the second. There we go, lovely Snowball. Don't ask why we've gone through so many cats here, Gertrude. Not your business. It's always good to try and multitask. As you can see, while we're pimped out in our Black Knight's Fortress quest attire, looking like a lovely wee guard here, we're also going to be continuing on with our Dwarf Cannon quest there. So when you're in the area, start off some other things, finish off some other things, progress some other things, all the things. And here we have the completion of our Black Knight's Fortress quest, which is a precursor for many other quests. And it does allow us to maybe do the Witch's Potion here and our Druidic Ritual in the top left hand corner. Of course, then later on we can go for our recruitment drive, which requires both the Black Knight's Fortress and the Druid. So, on we go. Thankfully, through our journeys there, we actually picked up all of the raw meat that we needed earlier, so now we can just head straight down rather than having to do a mini fetch quest of all of these little bits and pieces. So I'm happy that I did that earlier. Would have made things a lot more difficult now otherwise. And with that we have the completion of Druidic Ritual, a very nice quest giving us access to our first little taste of herb lore. We're going to be working towards that later on, chucking all of our lamps on there of course. It's such a hard skill to train on Ironman, but nice to have finally made that first step. This is always the riskiest part of the Witch's House of course. We have to take on a few of these little experiments here. I believe the safe spot is down in this corner, so I think we can only really do that once this character gets a little bit bigger. Of course we have 4 waves to take care of. And with the completion of the Witch's House quest, we get a huge boost to our HP level, going from 14 all the way to level 25. Huge boost, much less likely to get one shot anymore. It's very painful to do this, but unfortunately for our recruitment drive there, we do have to spend 3,000 gold on changing across to a female there to complete the quest. Now the reason why it hurts is because 3,000 gold at the moment is currently a huge portion of my bank. It's about a third of my liquid wealth. So it's sad to see it go. Let's make that change. Oh wow. Okay, I guess we don't keep our hair at all there. Should have enough to take you out. There we go, great stuff. And I believe that should be pretty much the end of this quest. There we go, 1,000 Predator Experience, 1,000 Herb Lore, which is a new skill that we just unlocked, and 1,000 Agility, which we as yet had not trained. So some great skills there, up to 10 Herb Lore and 9 Agility. A very nice opening start there to all of those skills, plus a little bit of Predator Experience, so you really can't complain about that. And here we have the completion of our Dwarf Cannon quest, coming in at a good time to take us all the way up to 8 crafting, our first little bit of crafting experience after the Sheep Shearer quest. Not too bad. And here we have the completion of the fishing contest, 2,400 fishing experience, access to White Wolf Mountain Tunnel, which is a very nice way of bypassing here, saves us from going over top whole additional path here, then just skip from here to here, so from Tavley across there, rather than having to wander all the way through here. Plus there's also some interesting characters underneath here, of course. Now, what fishing level do we get to? Oh, thank you very much, greatly appreciated. Get to 27 fishing, and that's because we had 25 beforehand, but we're close to almost being able to fish salmon, and I think I will, as we mentioned earlier, look to be fishing some trout and salmon here soon enough. The issue is that feathers are not cheap, and I don't have too much gold left, but I still think it'll be worth in the long run to have a bit of food that we can dip into there rather than just our wine and rather than just our cakes. And here we have the end of our Murder Mysteries quest, which of course is Frank. Cheeky Frank there. I don't bloody do this, mate, to your own family. There we go, 1400 crafting experience, 2000 coins, actually surprisingly good as well, plus 3 quest points, which of course be very nice for our recipe for disaster quest later on. That brings us up to 14 crafting, up from about 8 or so. Some more lovely levels coming in. I think it's about time there that we go and do some AFKing, maybe fish up some extra food. My cat's getting very, very hungry, and we've only got 2 sardines as raw feed left in our bank here. So let's go and purchase some feathers and just go sit at a fishing spot for a wee while, and we'll update you with some levels as we go. So I'm not too sure if this is advisable at this stage of the game there, but I just invested about 6,000 of my 7,000 gold into 2,600 feathers. That gives me plenty of opportunity to fish a whole bunch of trout, and eventually, well actually very soon, as we currently have 27 fishing, eventually move on to some salmon as well. That will give us quite a few nice cooking levels, which will be useful later on, especially when we get to our recipe for disaster and other similar quests, excuse me. 30 fishing attained, which also brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you next time.